That, folks, is the Dillinger vehicle. We're gonna drive by and make a casing of the bank. Dillinger had actually been trained by in the Indiana State Penitentiary by members of Herman Lamb's gang. Herman Lamb was a Prussian soldier who immigrated to the United States and was really considered the master of bank robbing. He had designed a system where they would find the distance between the bank and the local police station. They'd know the names of the bank employees and the layouts of the banks. And they'd do test drives for the getaways. So they'd know all the shortcuts and back roads of whatever town they were going to rob the bank. And Dillinger had actually invited a couple of people to join his bank robbing group because they had been members of Lamb's gang. So on Tuesday, March 13th, 1934, a group of some of the most notorious outlaws in the nation arrived here at Mason City's First National Bank. The gang included such desperate hardened criminals as John Red Hamilton, Babyface George Nelson, Eddie Green, Tommy Carroll, Homer Van Meter, John Dillinger, and a seventh unidentified gang member believed to be either Joseph Burns or Red Forsyth. There are conflicting reports as to some of the exact details of what happened that day. Some witnesses even stated that a woman was behind the wheel of the getaway car. The gang arrived at the bank shortly before closing time, intending to steal $240,000, an amount that would now be worth more than $4 million. Today we are going to show you a theatrical recreation of the crime based on actual written and eyewitness accounts. For the safety of the audience and participants, we ask you to please stay off the road and behind the barriers, as there will be automobiles driving and automatic weapons spraying hot glass. Thank you.
There's been shooting going on. We're going to do it. Camera, get on.
The gangsters entered the bank shouting profane orders and shooting their guns into the ceilings and walls, considered by most to be a very effective scare tactic. W.C. Bagley, the bank president, thought that a maniac had broken in with a gun. He ran into his office and just managed to slam the door on one of the robbers' pistols. Bank guard Walters was in his elevated bulletproof observation booth built into the wall near the front entrance. He followed procedure and fired a tear gas cartridge, which hit one of the robbers in the back. But then his tear gas gun jammed and Walters was out of the fight. One of the gangsters sprayed the bulletproof glass with gunfire, shattering it but missing Walters. A piece of that bulletproof glass can be seen in the lobby of the police station. While one or two of the gangsters cleaned out the teller's cash drawers, another, probably John Hamilton, took bank cashier Harry Fisher to the vault. An assistant cashier, Harry was one of the few bank employees who could open the safe. Inside the vault, Hamilton made the mistake of allowing a steel gate to close between Fisher and himself. Ignoring the robber's threats, Fisher broke apart bundles of cash and slowly handed small denomination bills through the gate bars to Hamilton. The police chased the gangsters out of town, but didn't get close to them for fear of endangering the hostages. The hostages were released unharmed, with the exception of Francis Dessart's coat, which was grazed by gunfire and can be seen at the Kenny Pioneer Museum here in Mason City. The getaway car was found later that night in an abandoned quarry 4 miles south of Mason City. Police later said the bandits had 2 other cars waiting for them, though the gang had made off with over $52,000, which would be worth more than $890,000 today. In the end, crime doesn't pay. The gangsters would become the targets of a massive manhunt, which included many shootouts with law enforcement, and every one of the bank robbers would be dead by the end of the year. Thank you very much for joining us. That was Public Enemies in 1934. Today, if you'd like, some of the gangsters will be hanging around and you can take advantage and get your